Murad. Welcome to the stage. It's truly inspiring to have this conversation. It's been an interesting year on the meme coins, and everyone here is excited to hear from you. The main question people have been asking me is, what should they buy? And I'm sure you get this all the time. How do you usually answer this question?
Yeah, so first things first, thank you for having me. Second of all, nothing I say is financial advice, just my personal opinion. You know, without kind of shilling any tickers outright in the very first 30 seconds of the interview, I will say, you know, if you study past crypto cycles, the categories that outperform in year 3, they are the categories that do exceptionally well in year 4. And I think 2024, 2020, and 2016 are kind of the year 3 in this case. And we're about to enter in year 4. You have to look at the outperformers in year 3. Right now, if you look at the top 20 performers in all of crypto this year, you will see that 14 out of 20 are meme coins. And I believe that this is market telling you something, right? This is market telling you a lot of things, that market wants community even more than technology, that market is tired of like super high valuation launches. Market is tired of like VC coins and kind of white paper mumbo jumbo coins. And the market wants something that's more similar to 2016, 2017, when altcoins first came on the scene, something where you can join relatively cheaply, relatively early, and kind of ride the whole journey of global growth relatively early on as a retail participant together with everybody else. That's something that's been missing in the space. And I think meme coins are kind of a spiritual reincarnation of ICOs. And I think 2024 was just the beginning. And I think the best meme coins are going to do another 50 to 150x next year. So essentially, this is what I'm preparing for.
Some health believers compare meme coins with NFTs and say it's going to have a moment and then it's going to fade. How do you reply to this?
Yeah, so I think the investment thesis for NFTs and meme coins is actually very similar, because at the end of the day, what they both do is they tokenize the intangible, right? They tokenize community, culture, vibes, if you may, ideology, missions, movements, art, and everything in between, right? And the problem, however, is even the best NFT collections, they only have 4,000 to 5,000 holders. That's a problem, right? Essentially, their success becomes the recipe for their own demise. What that means is the floor price and the non-fungibility in NFTs, they price out middle income and low income global participants. And this is a problem because, you know, if you look at NFTs, you have 3,000 people evangelizing 10,000 illiquid JPEGs. Obviously, this doesn't scale. And I think essentially meme coins is NFTs done right. That's what NFTs were always supposed to be. And essentially, instead of 3,000 people evangelizing 10,000 pictures, what you now have, you're going to have 3 million people evangelizing one liquid coin. I'm sure you can already sense how that's so much more effective and efficient and has a much higher probability of going viral. And you know, social media and finance right now are merging into one thing, and attention and valuation are the same thing now. So if something is going to have 2 million holders rather than 3,000 holders, the probability of it going to 100 million or more is proportionally higher.
I think most people, when they think of meme coins, they think of the high volatility and risk, and then they don't know what to buy. Like, even if they are on board with you, like, how should they approach meme coins from a starting point?
So I can share my personal strategy, right? Yeah. So I don't buy new launches. Everybody, they kind of gamble on new launches, they gamble on new memes, they gamble on new pump funds, and that's why they lose money. Because you can see on chain that the probability of you making money on new launches, like 97.5% of people lose money. And then there's another 2% that like make less than $1,000, and so only like 0.3% of people make any money over $5,000, right? So the probability stacked against you, it's not even 50-50 or 60-40, it's like 98% chance you're going to lose money. So I personally only look at communities that are at least 3 months old, 6 months even better, and I want to look at things that have already gone down by 60-70% at least 2 or 3 times. Okay. It essentially represents an exam It represents a test of the community. If the community has survived something like this, that means there's something special there, right? Fundamentally, in my experience, it takes at least 6 to 8 months to build a truly strong community. You need time. Like, you can cheat volume, you can cheat listings, you can cheat liquidity, but you can't cheat time. And it's like the special sauce. On the more qualitative side, I personally want to resonate with the meme. And at the end of the day, if you actually study what meme coins are, they are tokenized communities. So what you really want to see is, does this inspire people? How strong is community participation? How strong is what people call free cult labor, which is essentially people making the coin their whole identity, providing free media, free videos, free memes, free software engineering, etc. Right? That's what you want to see. At the end of the day, I believe it's all about passion and inspiration.
Mm-hmm. Most of the cycle, I feel it was taken by Solana. Do you feel like next year or perhaps sometime in the future it's going to change? And does this matter at all, like the ecosystem?
Yeah. So I think institutional interest has been dominated by BTC. On the retail side, I do agree with you. Solana has taken the storm away from ETH. There's a very clear reason for this. If you actually look at how Ethereum first got monetized, there's a bunch of reasons, but the biggest one is the fact that it was being used as the currency for gambling, trading, and investing, right? Mm-hmm. In 2016, 2017, it was ICOs. In 2020, 2021, it was NFTs, Metaverse, DeFi yield Ponzi's, and so on, right? The problem is right now, no one is really using ETH, the currency, to gamble, to invest, to trade. That whole interest has shifted to Solana, right? So this is why the Solana to ETH ratio has been outperforming. I think that's going to continue to be the case next year. I do see the possibility, not financial advice again, of course, but I do see the possibility of Solana hitting $1,000 and Ethereum potentially hitting $10,000. But Solana will likely continue to be outperforming next year, in my opinion. Why? Because that's the currency that people need to gamble. And at the end of the day, that's the biggest driving force.
You shared some graphic with like the time where these cycles start and stop. How come, what drives them to stop?
You know, increasingly, I think it's going to be TradFi and global macro factors. A lot of people believe that the 4-year cycles in crypto happened because of BTC halvings. I actually don't think so. I actually think the biggest driver of crypto outperformance and underperformance is central banking liquidity, global money supply, and global money growth. And I think increasingly, as BTC and crypto overall is getting more institutionalized, that's going to continue to be the case more and more. And at the same time, you know, the halvings are getting decreased by a smaller and smaller percentage. So ultimately, if you want to figure out like when to sell or when to kind of take a break, you'll have to be watching kind of traditional global macro indicators.
This industry is constantly like shifting and taking new shapes, and the comparison to NFTs was sort of aligned with that. Do you think the meme coins next year, this space is going to look much different than 2024? Yeah,
so I think there's 2 factors that you have to watch for. One is what I call meme coin rate of production per day. So right now, yesterday, there were 49,000 new meme coins created. And I think this rate of growth is going to keep accelerating. I wouldn't be surprised to see 1 million coins per day next year. So ultimately, I try to approach meme coins not as a gambler, but as an investor. Try to gather as many on-chain metrics as possible. If you're filtering for communities that have already existed for 6 months, I think you're starting to shift from a gambling mindset to more of an investor, holder, or a believer mindset. Personally, I think we have another 8 to 14 months of the bull market to go. And I think we're going to see a consolidation. The most important concept to understand when it comes to memes, I think, is critical mass. We can debate what critical mass means, but for the sake of an example, let's say it's 1 billion market cap, at least 1 tier 1 exchange listing, and 100,000 holders. And I think right now, given the fact that there's going to be more and more meme coins created every day, you want to be buying coins that are on their way to critical mass, right? Maybe not 100,000 holders, they have 60,000 holders. Maybe they're not at 1 billion yet, they're at half a billion, but getting there. Maybe they're not at tier 1 yet, they're at tier 2, but getting there, right? And I think this is where you will find the most risk reward in terms of still having that 50x upside, but like not burning your money. You know what I mean?
Do you see this as an entry point for anyone joining the industry, or is it too risky? Should they enter from a different standpoint?
Again, not financial advice, but I do think that the best and the most culty meme coins still have another 50 to 100x potential next year. I think winners are going to continue being winners. You already saw that this year. The coins that have done well by July, they've continued to outperform in the second half of the year. And I think that means that those communities, or those memetics, there's something special there. So I think you have to pay attention to the coins that have done well over the past 18 months, and I believe they're going to continue being winners next year.
As people buy these coins, like how long should they hold to be considered a believer?
Again, I don't want to give financial advice, and timing global cycles is very hard. Personally, I'm going to hold until Q4 of 2025.
Is there any specific reason for this?
I'm operating under the assumption that this is going to be another 4-year cycle. Maybe it's going to be slightly less, maybe it's going to be slightly more, but I think it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. And you know, the last 3 cycles that we had were almost exactly 365 days, like to the day. So I think it's likely that we end up being in that same range. So that's why I keep kind of mentioning Q4 of 2025. Maybe Q1 of 2026, but that's the ballpark where I'm going to be looking to take some profits.
Well, one of your rules is, you know, like no VC money or any non-retail money on the token, correct?
Yes.
So there's one new case that I would like to ask you about. So Pudgy Penguins has a strong community, but they also have non-retail investment. They're launching a token. How do you judge this?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's going to be VC-backed projects that do well as well. And there have been many examples of that being the case this year also. However, I personally come from it from the perspective of risk-reward, upside, and decentralization. Okay. What I really like about meme coins is that everybody, regardless of whether it's a $10 billion institution or somebody with only $1,000 to their name, they're kind of come into it from the same equal angle. And when you have multiple funding rounds, you have what I call kind of holder class warfare, you know? And that inequality, I think it negatively affects community growth. Even if you look at the best tech coins, such as Link, Cardano, Ethereum, Ripple, they all gave retail a chance to get in under $30 million. And this is the secret sauce. The secret sauce for building hardcore cult-like communities is making poor people rich. Because then you're going to have an army of holders that you gave them the chance to make money. A lot of them are going to quit their jobs, and they're going to essentially make the coin their whole life. And that is the secret sauce which makes coins go viral every 4 years in crypto. It's that army of people that are going to be all over TikTok, all over Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, 4chan, Reddit, and so on. And you want that army to be essentially working for your bags even while you're asleep. And so you're not going to build a community with airdrops. You're probably not going to build a community if you're going to be launching at multi-billion-dollar valuations. You build a community by letting sort of poor people become middle class people become upper middle class. And you want that army of holders.
It's truly interesting. I mean, you introduced a playbook to the industry on the meme coins. I don't think we had anything even close to that before. How did you arrive to this?
Yeah, you know, there was no one eureka moment. It was, you know, this is kind of like my 3rd, 4th cycle in crypto. And this time around, I was, I think, a year and a half, 2 years early to what I think is going to be the big trend next year. And I think you have to look at what is the unifying variable between all of the big winners in crypto history, right? It's not only XRP, Link, Cardano, but it's also obviously Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Doge, Pepe. What is the one thing that's the same for them all? And that's the fact that they have a cult-like community. Some people believe that this is the most important thing in crypto, and I do agree with them. And ultimately, my theory is that it doesn't matter whether you're building a tech coin or you're building a meme coin. What matters is how passionate your community is and how fast it's growing.
As the meme coin space grows, let's say even years' time, I personally don't think it needs much time to grow even more. There will be like micro segments within it, and let's say a lot start taking notes from what you say, and they follow these rules. So there's so much to hold. How do you pick from there?
Yeah, good question. So yes, there are already millions of meme coins, but what you got to do is you have to apply certain filters, right? Like I already said, for example, if you look at things that have already been there for at least 4 to 6 months, that already cuts like 95%. Then you look at things that have already kind of gone down by 80% or more a few times and survived. That's another filter. Then generally, I like to look at coins on Ethereum, Solana, and BTC because idle wealth and idle capital is very important. I don't think you're going to have multi-billion-dollar meme coins next year on chains number 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So you want to focus where the money is. Logically, a chain is similar to a centralized exchange in the sense that that's a pool of capital and that's distribution. I do think that in the long run, all of the best memes are going to be on all of the chains and most of the sexes. So ultimately, it doesn't matter, but right now we're still not there. So my focus personally is on Ethereum and Solana mainly. Even though Solana is outperforming Ethereum this year, the beauty of Ethereum is that there are only like 5 or 6 good coins there. Unlike Solana, where there's already like 10 million, you can really kind of narrow it down more easily. Also, I think it's important to buy category leaders because institutions are already dabbling in the space. 2 or 3 months from now, you're going to be seeing headlines about this. This is going to sound crazy to some of you, but I think some of the meme coins are going to get ETFs as well. And I think when institutions come into the space, they're not going to be bidding cat coin number 58 on chain number 12. They're going to be bidding category leaders. So you want to be bidding like the top 1 or 2 category coins, right? Whether it's cats, dogs, movements, or AI, you want to be bidding those like top 3 coins.
What do you think of the AI coins?
I think they are less like meme coins and they're more like utility coins. I do think they're going to be a big category, obviously. At the same time, because they're newer, they haven't undergone those kind of test of time like some of the other meme coins have. So you really have to know what you're doing when you're picking AI coins. I do think that a lot of the institutions are going to gravitate towards more infrastructure, platforms, and picks and shovels rather than individual agents or individual kind of AI-themed meme coins. But I think the slight problem that you're going to face is I think you're going to have hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of these kind of AI agent memes. Similar to AI coins, it's going to be a very competitive category. So I think just like in business, in crypto, you want to be a monopoly. You want to be a category leader, right? So I think in some of the other categories, it's a little bit easier to identify what those leaders are going to be. But I do believe it's going to be a category that survives.
I do wonder if there's any type of infra missing now that we have sort of like a flow to find these meme coins. Have you found anything like that sort of like feels like it's missing? Like there could be like a tool that helps people find things better or filter.
The meme coin hunting tools are getting better and better every week. Like I said personally, what's happening to the meme coin space right now is the following. It's kind of being separated into 2 different kind of subcategories. On one hand, you have kind of this rapid tool usage, more gambling style, fast-paced, fast production, pump fund style, kind of how do I turn 10 SOL into 100 SOL quickly, et cetera, right? And on the other side, you have more like, let's try to build the next Doge, right? Let's try to build the next multi-cycle community. Personally, I'm more interested in the latter because I think it's less stress, and I think it's a higher chance of upside, and there's already critical mass there. So I am personally less on the tool side, and I'm more on the how do we make this a brand, how do we make this a movement, how do we make this a lifestyle, and I think it's just I think that's just more exciting because you get to build something with more sustainability.
If you project this like 5 years time, like how do you see the space?
I think meme coins are going to be a bigger and bigger percentage of crypto all the way until hyper-Bitcoinization. Because if you actually look at why meme coins have emerged, I actually think that they are a byproduct of the current financial system. Why? Because right now, the boomers and Gen X, they own absolutely everything. And Zoomers and Gen Alpha, they don't really have any money in the grand scheme of things. They don't have any status, and they don't have any kind of political power. But what is the one thing that young people are good at? The one thing that young people are good at is social media. So I think that's why they're essentially creating a new asset class, which uses social media as its rails, which lives on social media. And this is like the one domain where they can be somewhat in control. And I think we're still early in the maturation of the meme coin asset class. I think it's going to be a multi-trillion-dollar industry that's here to stay. Some people think it's still crazy, but Dogecoin and a few other meme coins have already proven that meme coins can be multi-cycle. And I think even coins from this cycle, 2023, 2024, you're probably going to have 5 or 6 coins that are going to end up being multi-cycle projects as well.
To me, it gives me this feeling similar to the GameStop.
Yes.
Power to the people. Do you think next year we will see any big movement that hasn't been happening up until now, like something like really different? Have you seen something that sort of like spiked your interest? You saw like an idea?
Yeah. So as some of you may know, I personally really like, again, not financial advice, but I would encourage you to take a look at something called SPX 6900.
Yeah.
It's a mimetic coin which is trying to flip the stock market. I know this sounds delusional and outrageous to some, but if you study past kind of crypto history, the higher the internal community target, the more bullish it is for the future price appreciation. Why? Because it's essentially the case of let's shoot for the stars, we're going to end up being at the moon. The problem with GME was the fact that it exists on centralized rails. The company constantly prints new shares, which is effectively inflation. And I believe as there is more and more money in the global financial system, attention and memetics are going to be more important than brick and mortar fundamentals. And I think essentially some of those GME-like communities, I think, are going to end up being on-chain this time around.
Usually in DeFi, or like from recent conversations, I've heard that the quality of the network is far more important than the size of the network. Comparing, for example, a DeFi project with standard social media, where you need volume of people. It seems like here we need volume of people. It truly matters. So from that stance, we would need the industry to grow as we get more meme coins. So how do you think people that are launching these meme coins could achieve that? Do you have any ideas?
Yeah. So I think the coins that are going to be launching right now or in the coming months are going to be at a slight relative disadvantage compared to those that already exist. Why? A, it's going to be more competitive. If you study like Dune Analytics or Nansen, you will see that the rate of, like I've already said, the rate of meme coin production per day is going to grow, and it's going to become an incredibly competitive space. This is why I think there's going to be a flight to safety and flight to what I call cults, essentially really, really, really strong communities that already have that critical mass. And I think essentially, this is the choice that you have as a meme coin investor. Do I get a 40x with 40% probability? Or do I aim for 1,000x with a 0.1% probability, right? And obviously, if you do the math on this, the former is just a better investment. And I think like, this is essentially the dichotomy that we're looking at.
Yeah, for some people, the more they hold, the more nervous they get, and they're always checking. Some people are not used to, being able to just hold, and when something bad happens, they just sell. It's the nature of someone entering, like the industry. Do you have any specific advice for this type of people?
Yeah. So don't look at charts. The only thing that matters is asset selection. If you are in coins that are in bullish market structure on medium time frames, and that where the holders are growing on all time frames, charts don't matter. What matters is when is going to be the global macro cycle peak, and that you're in the right strong coins with critical mass. watching charts all day long is just going to stress you out. This is why some of the communities that I'm in, they have a motto which is there is no chart and stop trading and believe in something. And essentially, this is a call to adopt a more long-term investor-like mindset rather than constantly checking charts and getting yourself stressed out for no reason. So ultimately, it's not about the charts, it's about the substance. If you believe that your community is strong and growing and that there's something interesting there, the charts don't matter.
What's the right amount of tokens to hold?
I think less than 10.
Less than 10?
I would say 5 to 7. 5 to 7 is a sweet spot.
Because you need to track them in the communities and so on?
I think you want to diversify across like neurochemical archetypes. Different meme coins, they appeal to different demographics, and there's no one kind of person. There's different kind of people out there in the world, and you want to diversify across categories, across kind of personality archetypes, across age groups, and across blockchains. And that's why I think 5 to 7 is a sweet spot, so you can cover all of these grounds.
Give us some of the categories for people that don't know.
So obviously, animal coins have been a big one.
Yeah.
AI coins are an emerging one right now. I think some coins would kind of qualify as kind of cults, missions, movements. Some are trying to be lifestyle brands. Some are more sort of masculinity archetype coins. And then there's kind of a long tail of smaller ones. But I would say these are like the dominant categories right now.
You don't have to show anything, but if there's anything that you feel like it's so safe and obvious, like how would you say, like maybe give us like 3?
It's weird to talk about safety because obviously meme coins are still like super, super, super risky, and you need to acknowledge that you can lose everything. But I don't want to show like individual tickers, but I will say I think at this, like if you ask me this question every 2-3 months, my answer is going to be different based on like where we are in the cycle. But I think right now, going into 2025, you want to be buying coins that are like below $1 billion, but are already above 100 million. Because I think like that's where you have this kind of, they're approaching getting this critical mass, and that's when you want to get in.
So, and as you separate these cycles, so this middle cycle that I think you said it ends around like April or something. This cycle, whatever I hold here, let's say, is it part of the third cycle that you shared, or is it this? Are these different? Am I supposed to buy in the beginning and sell, or hold it all throughout?
Yeah. So I mean, it's more of an art than a science.
Yeah.
But usually, kind of crypto cycles have been going for 4 years. Usually, a bear market is roughly 1 year, and then a bull market is roughly 3 years. We're done with the 2 years now. I think we have 1 more year of bullishness left, roughly. So I don't think you're late per se. I still think some of these have 50x or more to go. So I wouldn't say you're late. I think right now is, like I jokingly say that December 2024 might be the last good time to kind of jump on board.
Oh wow, guys, we need to get in. Any hot takes for next year? So something that maybe sounds, you already had one with the ETFs. That was a really hot one. Any other?
Any hot picks?
Like hot takes. So kind of like a wild prediction. Yeah.
So not as controversial as it was 8 months ago, but I still think it's going to be the case. I think this is going to be a meme coin and AI cycle. I think this is painfully clear right now. I think young people, they don't really care about code or software or technology. They want to be a part of something, something interesting, something that is maybe a little bit controversial, maybe a little bit spicy, maybe something that can go viral, and they want to be they want to be a part of an adventure. Young people, I think they are increasingly lonely in these digital spaces, and I think this is like one of the 12 reasons why meme coins are emerging as these sort of new third spaces, right? And ultimately, a lot of people are calling for tops this month, next month. I think we still have another year to go. And the biggest mistake most people will make is they will sell too early, and they will buy coins that are like they think are cheap, that will end up going to zero, instead of buying coins that are slightly more expensive but that are already growing fast, right? So it's better, again, to buy something with critical mass rather than to gamble.
Nothing really stops the VCs to actually, look at what you're posting and what people are doing, and just like follow that track. If the VCs start getting into these tokens, does it ruin it in some way?
They're buying right now as we speak. And you'll be seeing headlines about it 2 or 3 months from now. Some of the Asian and American crypto funds and even TradFi funds are already holding meme coins on their balance sheets. And I think you're going to be seeing more of that in Q1, Q2 of next year.
Is this a negative thing?
I'm sorry?
Is it a negative thing?
No. Because at the end of the day, like, they don't really care what to trade as long as there is like growth, potential, and volatility. You know, they've been through the cycles already. They know what's been hot for the past 12 to 18 months. It's likely that this momentum is very important in crypto, and right now momentum is in the hands of meme coins and AI. So I think they're going to continue to dominate next year, and VCs are already involved. The smart ones know that the play is to buy existing winners rather than to launch their own memes. I think tier 2, tier 3 VCs are going to be trying to launch their own meme coins kind of like behind the scenes, but I'm not very bullish on those. But the VCs that are going to be buying coins that are already out there, I think are going to be making a smart move.
Some of my sophisticated friends that are traders, they said that this has been like the most fun they've had in crypto since DeFi summer. That kind of worries me a little bit because I don't know much about trading. So if I was to buy something, could they do something with a token that would kind of like harm someone like me that doesn't really trade?
You know, trading is not the way to go. If you study past crypto cycles, the people that have made the most money are people that have bought something and they held for 1 to 2 years. And I think we still have a roughly 1 year of bullishness left. The best strategy is going to be just buy and hold until the end of the cycle. So trading is not the way to go. Buy and holding the right coins is.
Murad, it's been truly inspiring. Thank you so much.
Thank you.